So let's continue with part 2 of this. I just showed you what a real brain-to-brain connection used to be and how it would work in the olden days. Let us remember that I deleted the connecting infrastructure. What does that mean? That does not mean that I hacksaw my way into the fucking towers and deleted what is hidden in the ROM in there. No, not at all. It means that there are routines in place, used to be, relational, they are so fucking up that word right now, relational databases, which are just really instructions of how to weave the information together from where. At the core of this, you have the fella at the super secret agency hacking into his keyboard new entries to whatever super secret database, and at the same fucking time that he is hacking it in for the first time, he might just have a sheet of paper of new entries for whatever purpose database, real computer database, and at the same time that he's hacking it into his local computer, completely independent thereof, a mode for new edition kicked in, when all of that was still possible, to automatically add that information to this here sum of parts. And if that would not suffice, there would be ways for the agencies to, and not maybe even necessarily at this level, though with the custom shit they build into the towers, it might even be at this level, though certainly with this level, to directly use such information from their own real databases. But basically what I did was I deleted, let's make this bold, I just bloody deleted, actually I didn't delete the whole information, I just deleted the logic, how it all weaves together and how you find it in there. All of the people out there, all of these countless little brains, little dots symbolizing brains, their brains are not little, still have whatever 10, 20, 50 sets of data they were told to remembered in their head, most likely. It's just that there is no one weaving the information together anymore. Nothing, so to speak, and that the Schnittstelle, that's the German word, they're sitting on my English word again, the interface, call it that, between here and the information here does no longer work. So there's still all the brains out there with all the information as of the raw data. There is still, of course, in the ROMs all of whatever used to be there, but these two, so let's draw another little line to make this even, oops, not that fat. Could have been a bit thicker. But all of the towers have been disabled to contact this, and the logic inside here has been deleted. That is what I did. Because of that, no, before I continue, let me also point out to you that not just where brains, okay, we accidentally deleted with the undo also that one, so let's put that back here. Not just were there master numbers stored in here, but there were also proxy tech lists. Actually, there were own lists for the proxy tech devices in the world, and those are numerous, not nearly as numerous as their brains, mind you, no, but as I said, they're running off the assembly line because you world don't do fuck. But I also deleted those. So, meaning not just, and this is very important to understand, because this is something you must bear in mind with, right, as of standing connections, my doing did not at all interrupt standing connections. I want you to wrap your heads around the fact that what I did only utterly disable is not even the right word, utterly does away with any possibility for all times, because they don't know how to do this. They don't know this shit up here, how this was woven together. They lost that information, and that is magnificent. I so enjoy that they did that. I did not, however, in what I do, that as such had no effect on breaking off existing and live connections, standing connections. Any such that were in place then might still be in place today. Now, something utterly important for you to understand is that, and here they're sitting on it again, so I'll get to that point a little later. Something you should also know is that not just was there, hence the possibility of someone saying, connect me to the brain of Joe, but connect me to the proxy tech with Joe. And this was possible because the information of the proxy tech was also stored in here. Nonetheless, what you have to bear in mind is that, this is very important, is that the proxy tech is a tech device. It has a stupid regular IP, I call it, or something to the extent of. Meaning it is a stupid actual technical device. And as such, it can, by mere regular connecting infrastructure, be connected still. So what you can do without any problem is still have a connection between those two, for example. Oops, let's use the line here. And I don't want to take this through the tower because, well, I guess technically you'd have some towers along the way. But anyhow, I don't want to take it through this turquoise area because there's nothing at all to do with the turquoise. This is just two regular things, technical gadgets connected. Like your phone to the internet, or your computer to the internet, or whatever, or to telephones. It's just stupid technical devices, as this is, right? So the proxy tech placed all around the world can still be connected to one another directly. However, what is not possible anymore? See, because what also was possible was that the proxy tech was able to be connected to the telecom infrastructure, and it be, as long as that still was possible, connected to the brain. That is something let's do this on the other side, because there we have the symbolized field. Now mind you, a proxy tech device directly connected to your brain also is something fundamentally different from a proxy tech device merely emitting a field in which you are. This is something very, very, very different from this. The worst thing was the brain to brain. Being bound to a proxy tech piece is also a pretty bad thing. However, what you must understand is that actually it doesn't really matter. Well, actually, it does make a difference. I must explain the difference between making the connection from this way to this way and making the connection from this way to this way. What you must understand is that here is white, which means that this connection, no matter who calls whom from this node in the connection, this is where it ends, mind you, but from this node in the connection, or starts if you will, but that connection was, the ability for that connection was done away with. That is the all-important thing to understand. Which is why unless from back in the day, some people still have a direct connection to a proxy tag, and unfortunately, I must say that I personally assume the number of people to be connected to a piece of proxy tag to be namely still have a still standing connection to a piece of proxy tag is tremendously larger than that of number of people actually still having a brain-to-brain connection. So what they'd have these days would be, at worst, I mean, there still might be some with brain-to-brain connection, but for the most part, you'd be having this. And to be precise, that is a little misleading. You'd be having this. That's what you'd be having if people still were connected to the proxy tag. Even to the proxy tag, the connection only was possible via the telecom infrastructure. Why? Because here in the turquoise is where the interface, all interfacing to brain happen, namely to the bio devices. The tech devices do not have any kind of interfacing ability with the bio devices. That all was happening in the information required, therefore, was in the air. And I did away with that. So let's do away with these blue lines again. Now, I took it underground, namely me, myself, and my brain, and so far that all of this broke off. And I did this after I had deleted the infrastructure, so I had a still standing connection to, in my case, a proxy tag. And nonetheless, I was able to delete that because they were basically on observing mode. I bet they regret that, but then, they being the filth. And the thing to understand is that the moment I came out of there, Seegrotte, near Vienna, that's what it's called, that connection had broken off. Upon returning home, I had countless routines at the proxy tech emitted through the field that amounted to call me, call me, call me. But that was not possible because I had deleted the connecting infrastructure. And the routines understood, as well as the filth out there understood. So what is possible today? The thing to understand is that once you broke off, and you break off, should you still have such, your connection, your direct connection to your brain, be it to another brain or be it to proxy tech, and be it yours or no one's in particular, because see, I'm pretty sure that they are using basically roundabout pinging, is that what it's called? Where they have basically something like mail groups in a very bizarre way. You just have one computer and you can ping out all kinds of information which works instead of a proxy tag. And if the brains still have a direct connection to there, then one spewing it out serves all, right? So that on the to the brain connections. I and everybody else whose connections to whatever broke off and can no longer nor ever again be reconnected because I did away with all that. I am only, under inverted comma, subject to horrendous messing through the field here, through the proxy tag. Now, as I said, in my case, I am absolutely certain that they have two such devices near me. It doesn't really make it doesn't make a difference as if I mean not being connected to either of them because that ability was done away with. But it does make a difference as I'm getting it from two sides basically. Another thing I took the liberty to draw into here, these green lines, this would be what I call the area effects. They're not very efficient, but basically as the proxy tag can emit a field, significantly more significantly intense, that's the word, The telecom infrastructure can do this on a large area. Proxytech is for a very small area, hence Proxytech. But the telecom infrastructure can do something to the extent of here on a large area, like flood the whole bloody neighborhood, for instance. Right? This is one of the things I wrote in the document. One of the things they used to do in Boston. Also, and this is a technicality to a certain extent, then again, I do want to mention it for completeness sake. The telecom infrastructure can, which mind you, and you must understand this thing is still, and always was, a mere tech device. I'm not saying that they have brain cells at the top of cell phone towers or any such. There are no brain cells involved anywhere other than in people's heads. There are no brains in tanks. There is nothing like that. Okay? But what you must remember is that part of what is buried in the ROMs of these things might have special functioning, so to speak, in connection to Proxytech, which really means that just as the telecom infrastructure has the ability to flood an area aimed at the people, it could also flood an area with whatever special effect shit, special effect shit is a horrible term for it, but with whatever particular functionality, but not aiming at the people, but at all Proxytech in the region. Okay? This, in the case of some Proxytech having gotten lost, or the information of the Proxytech's number having gotten lost. And just as my brain was saying connect back to the mothership, so to speak, phone home, if you will, though not in the context that I used it earlier today for the videos. The Proxytech, it being a mere tech device, might actually be able, if told by the telecom infrastructure, yo, any tech devices in the neighborhood, any Proxytech, hello, this is mother cell phone tower calling, then the Proxytech devices could all say, yeah, here we are, hello. I don't know much, all I know that I was at the brain of that guy. No, they're not actually speaking. I'm trying to be whatever degree of funny here in getting you to understand what the fuck this is about. So if you think, oh, no one knows of our Proxytech, where we placed it, are you sure about that? Because they just bloody have to ping the whole neighborhood calling all Proxytech. And the Proxytech devices go, here. Ah. And no, it's not the fucking Nazis from behind the moon. I know it's not who the fuck else. It is filth. Nazi filth from Austria, Germany, and fucking America, and the fucking lurchers from mostly America and a few other lurchers. That's what it is. So, there still is tons of Proxytech out there that, being a mere tech device, can be also, even if people have no fucking understanding of how exactly this shit here works, or how exactly that shit here works, and I assure you, few people do, they can still just bloody hack the mere tech device. They can still do that. Do you understand that the tech devices are a bit of a problem? Do you understand that? So that's the connections that you have today. Meaning, if once only, you get your ass your brain, but then wherever your ass goes, your brain follows. You get your ass completely out of reception, you're out of it. The connection snaps off. That never used to be a problem because there were routines placed that basically said, all right, well, there's holes in reception and whatnot. So whenever you had a reception, hey, be a nice bloke and call the telecom infrastructure right away after you get out of the tunnel. And it always used to work like that, and that was fine. And even if some brains were not directly available all the time, 24/7, well, that was no problem because information stored was also present in 99 other brains, and you could find it in the sum total of what was in the air. But if that breaks up once, it can never be reestablished. Someone is messing around in my head now trying to get me to answer a truly stupid question, and that is sheer spite, because I actually remember that I did write that down. So anyhow, So that is part 2.